Oh, here we go again. When it's over with, we had fun and we didn't say a bunch of buzz and
Hopefully.
hopefully. And if that's the case, then we'll call it a good one. All right. So I don't have anything else.
Nope.
And I didn't even really make notes. I figured that if I needed to, I'd just come up during the. So anyways, 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody. It's your two dads. It's me and Dan. You know how it is. This is a thing. This is what we do. Follow us everywhere, man. I've been pushing this lately. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube. We got a Facebook group, Your Two Dads. And, to be honest, okay, a lot of it, the cross posting, yeah, it tends to be some similar stuff. Okay, whatever. Deal with it, deal with it and follow and like and share.
That's right.
Yeah, because you're a fan of me and you're a fan of Dan and you really want us to succeed, because if we succeed, you succeed. Because
That's right.
the bigger we get, there will come a time when we get free stuff. And then who do you think we're going to give that free stuff to?
Yeah.
Our listeners.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Especially these few that we have right now. You guys in the beginning, you guys are good. Yeah. Once you can prove one day, when the time comes, once you can prove you're one of these fans.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. Good things are coming down the pipe.
They're like your two dads royalty.
Yeah.
Or they will be.
I used to say it was
could be
non-true fans, but honestly, I do think we have a bit more. I think we have a bit more than 9 now. I haven't put a specific number to it.
Maybe like 12.
That's very fair. That's very fair. I could easily find 12 people that I believe are good fans of ours that probably follow us across multiple social medias.
Probably.
So 12 is a good one. Yeah. Well, from now on, and for the foreseeable, it's going to be 12 true fans. So if you're one of the 12, then you will follow us on one of those other social media platforms. But today we are going to run this without Dan. Run this without Sam. I almost said Sam, but I said Dan instead. I don't know why I did that. We're going to run it without Sam. We're going to have some fun. It's going to be like one of them old school episodes. And I've got something to complain about. My God, I told you about this before we started. I almost got in a fight with a neighbor. This shit, it's just, I still am wound up about it. I'm so mad. And I know I haven't told you anything about it, and you're probably curious. So
yeah,
real briefly, I'm just going to get it out there, get it off my chest, because for the most part, I have held it in. I've just been listening to Gloria complain about it, and she's got a friend here that's been helping us move some stuff, because I think I told you we're moving into my grandma's old house.
Yeah.
And anyways, we are taking her stuff, since she lives out in the country. We're taking trash, or even if it's not trash, even if it's just, a really good end table that we don't want. We are taking it and putting it out on the road by our house, because we live in the city and that's what people in the city are allowed to do.
Yep.
And we've already done it at least once, during this move. And I was a little bit iffy about whether they were going to take it, because I was under the impression that it all needed to be in bags. We did not put it in bags, and they took every bit of it. So I learned that lesson. This time around, we actually did have quite a bit of it in bags, but there was some big stuff that we didn't. There was a lamp, you're not going to put a lamp in a bag.
No.
And the neighbor comes out, sticking his head out his basement door, talking about how I didn't hear him at the time, but I know after the fact that this is what he was saying. Talk about how they won't pick that up unless it's in bags. Well, I couldn't hear him, like I said, and my wife couldn't hear him either. And we called him over, or he came over. We didn't really call him over. And he got, I don't know. I don't know this part. I don't know. I can't speak for him, but he, I guess, got mad that we were putting it there, even though to his belief, they weren't going to take it. I don't know why he would get mad about that, but he did.
It seems a little weird.
So he got more and more mad, and then he started to kind of like get a little bit aggressive towards Gloria. And so I stepped in. I was still trying to kind of play it calmly at that point, but then I stepped in, and I was like, I don't know what your fucking problem is. And he's like, I've lived here for 2 years. And I was like, well, motherfucker, I've lived here for 5. What the fuck does that mean?
Right.
Who gives a shit? And he's like, they're not going to take that. And I was like, they already have. And he went on about he was like, I'm 65 years old. How old are you? 30? And I'm like, what the fuck does it matter how old I am, old man? My wife was like, he's 40. And I was like, yeah, so
Thanks,
take
babe.
that. And then he, I can't remember how it progressed. You know, words were said as far as never like, there was never anything said as far as like, I'm going to punch you from either side. You know, there was never
Right.
any, like, there was never any vocalized threat of violence. But I said something and he like puffed up on me and stuck out his chest. And I was like, are you trying to fight me right now? I was like, bro, do you want to go to jail today? And then he said something like he's like, I'm not going to go to jail. And then he stepped up closer and started licking his lips like he was about to kiss me or something.
Wow.
And I was like, all right, that's it, bro. 911. And I called, you know, the cops because I was like, as soon as he stuck his head out the window, my adrenaline went up. I think we've talked about this on the show before. My
Like
dad,
when he first did it, like
when he very
when it
first
all
did it,
first started.
yeah, as soon as he stuck his head out the window and or the door, even though I couldn't hear him, my adrenaline spiked.
Yep.
And
I'm the
I was
same
like,
way.
because I was like, this is not, he's not saying something like, hey, let me help you. Like,
Right.
you know, I knew it right away that he wasn't being like a neighbor. So right away, my adrenaline spiked. And, you know, I think, like I said, I mentioned this before, but since my dad never was a piece, you know, he wasn't worth a goddamn thing. He never taught me when to fight and how to control your emotions and things like that. So as soon as
Right.
there's conflict, I'm immediately ready to fight. And then you know, thankfully, I guess I don't know why my nature fighting through my adrenaline or whatever. I typically do not fight, haven't for a long time. So this was the same thing. As soon as he walked up, I balled up my fist and I was like, no, you're not going to do that. You like, you know, I was able to think logically enough to realize that I need to come out of this looking completely in you know, the best light.
Yeah.
And so then like I said, I called the cops and told him what was going on, told him he was threatening us and acting like he wanted to fight us and fight my wife. And I didn't know why. And and for, you know, maybe it was because I was concentrating on what I wanted to say, but I wasn't, you know, showing a great deal of excitement. I was very calm in what I
Right.
was trying to say. And they sent some cops over. And well, like right before the cops got there, he was on the phone with somebody else, maybe the cops too, saying how I think he's a drug dealer. He doesn't have a job and he's skinny. I'm pretty sure he's on meth. And my wife was,
Wow.
yeah, my wife was like, he's a disabled veteran. I was like, what do you want him to do? And so I don't know, like I said, who he was calling, if it was the cops or not, but he tried to tell the cops that he had me on video doing something. And I was like, Jesus Christ, if I'm gonna do anything, I ain't gonna do it by his house. Like, why would I go out of my door all the way down to the other end of whatever you want to call this complex,
Yeah.
and then you know, do something by his place?
Yeah.
That just don't make no sense at all.
No.
So I was like, I don't know what he's got, but I don't give a shit because he ain't got nothing on me.
Yeah.
And then the cop, you know, like I said, the cops came and I calmly explained to them what was going on and how I basically just called to prevent anything from happening. Because you know, even if I win, even if I whoop this old man's ass, he's gonna hit me at least once.
Well,
You
yeah.
know, and it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
And you know, he might knock out a tooth, he might do any, you know, it's not worth it. So, you know, I'm not a fighter such that I'm going to just whoop his ass without taking any hits. You know,
Well,
like
yeah.
I'm going to take some hits. I might even get beat up. I don't know. So I wanted to avoid all that.
Right.
And, you know, the cops came and helped me avoid all that. And they totally were, you know, on our side. And from what I didn't hear what was said because that two of them came, one of them stayed with us and one of them went to talk to him. But from what he said to us, he told him, don't be talking to them, don't be bothering them. When him and his son walk down this you know, roadway that's shared property, you are not to interfere with them in any way. And they are, you know, they're not going to bother you. And if they call us again, he said that you have to complain to this is so fucked up. He said you got to complain twice if there's no violence involved. But after that second time, if you call us a third time, we'll do something about it.
Wow.
So, yeah. So thank God we're moving.
Yeah, right.
And it was just the strangest thing. Like, why are you getting mad? I told the cops that, just brainstorming, just trying to come up with some reason for it, that he just was mad that either he was not allowed to do what we were doing for whatever reason, because like I said, we were allowed to do it. So why wouldn't he be allowed? Trash is trash. It's not like they pulled up and were like, oh, that guy's a dickhead, I'm not taking his trash. They don't know whose trash it is. They just the claw comes out and fucking takes it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's mad that we were getting preferential treatment, or if he was mad that it was in his line of sight,
Right.
Basically that he would be able to see it at all. It was
who cares?
It's not like it's in your property.
Yeah.
So
if it was on his property, you live in a duplex, so it's not technically his property anyway, but
it's outside that white fence.
Yeah, so if it was spilling over into his yard, quote unquote, then I could see the problem. But come on, dude.
Yeah, we even
and you know how much shit we see? I see mattresses and recliners and old desks that are falling apart in people's yard, and that's just the good stuff. There's probably a lot worse that I'm not seeing underneath all that stuff. I don't care. I'm like, oh, they're trying to get rid of that. Cool. We just did.
Sometimes I'll even look at
it.
Yeah. Like sometimes you go through it to see what they got. If it's a good neighborhood or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Like one of my neighbors threw out a TV, and if it hadn't been one of them big, fat ones that we used to have as kids, I probably would have checked it out. It hadn't been raining yet or nothing like that.
Right.
But yeah, dude, he's got me on my anxiety on just, hypertension level. I don't know what the fuck you want to call it.
Wow.
And I've already got I've got 4 guns and 2 of them are loaded, cocked, and on safety in separate parts of the house. So I hope that motherfucker comes back. I hope that motherfucker comes back. It's just today. It's not probably nothing at all to do with this, but it's just today that I was like, bro, it might be time for you to take back up some hunting. Like I did it very, very briefly as a young kid with my grandpa. And then, as I grow older, I was like, no, I can't kill Bambi. I love Bambi, and now it's like guns are cool, man. And maybe you're going to need to supplement your family's, diet or grocery list in some way, shape, or form one day. And I'm not saying, I'm not pushing guns. That's dangerously close to politics, I guess. What the fuck ever. If you don't have a gun, you don't like guns, don't buy a gun.
Yeah.
But I've got guns, and you're not gonna tell me not to buy a gun.
That's right.
I've got 4, motherfucker, and I might buy another one. I was looking at fucking AR-15s the other day. So what the fuck are you gonna say about that?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna shoot up a school though. That's just me.
Hell no.
Yeah. So I mean,
that's for my protection.
Yeah.
If you try to kick my door in or come through my window, I mean, that's all they're for.
In all honesty, I probably ain't gonna get an AR because like I said, I ain't got nothing to do with it. Right. I've got a bunch of handguns and a shotgun, and I consider those to be very in the realm of personal safety.
Yeah.
So it's not like, I'm not going to be out there buying machine guns or nothing like that.
Oh no.
But I may buy another, like a rifle, something to hunt with. Yeah, they're entirely possible. What I'd really like to do, this is not what we're going to talk about at all, and I don't know that we're really going to get on this topic, but I'd really like to get into bow hunting. I feel like men bow hunt. Okay, like real men hunt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like real men bow hunt. Is that shit's like
old school recurve, not these compound bows either.
Oh shit, dog, you're going way back. No, I'm not even okay. If you do that, then more. You're not listening to this podcast. You're probably living off the fucking grid. But if you do that and you listen to this podcast, more power to you, brother. You are a hero to me.
Get after us. We want to talk to you.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Give me your tips on how to fucking hunt with a recurve bow, because I'm talking those. I'm talking those compound bows. That's what I'm talking.
I mean, those are cool too.
Yeah, those children's toys are cool too. But I mean, it's more to do with the fact that I'm not strong, so I need all those extra pulleys.
Yeah, that's true.
to help me do that. But yeah, it was. I'm really getting closer to firearms than further away,
Oh
and
yeah.
I guess that's
Uh,
just a short or a long way of saying, don't come over here, old man, because
right here. There's a revolver right here behind this.
right on.
And this is where I sleep. So, if you try to break in, all I gotta do is reach up, grab it, and yeah, I'm ready.
Just don't don't get confused and think it's your phone.
No, my phone goes over on the table.
Okay, I think that might be what are them shits where one of them stories that ain't real.
Yeah,
I can't,
fables.
yeah, basically like fuck, I can't even think of it, man. I don't know why, but one of them things. It's like, oh yeah, this is true, it's true, but like turns out it's not actually true. Like
Yeah,
they did, like that the story about like where the dude shot himself thinking it was his phone, but I don't think that really happened.
no.
Anyway, so today we're going to talk about cooking for your kid. At least we're going to start out
Yeah.
there because this is something near and
Hey.
dear to my heart. I'm having a real hard time with this. I am I am now capable of doing more for Jackson, but I will still give in to him 90% of the time. He
Yep.
will wake up, God, fucking no later than 8 o'clock, oftentimes between 7 and
Woof.
7:30. And it doesn't matter if he goes to bed at 7:30 or 9. It's like 7:30, no later than 8.
Woof.
And so when he wants Elmo bar, which are these basically toddler fruit bars, they have Elmo and Big Bird on the front. Or if he wants a Sammy, which I think they're actually called Sammys. I don't know. I can't tell you what they have on the front. But basically, if he wants a snack bar when he wakes up in the morning, I'm giving him one because I just give in. Because oftentimes if I'm like, wouldn't you rather have this? He says no, and then he cries. And more than more than average, I just don't have it in me to really like, fight over everything. And, food is a big thing to fight over every single day. I know I'm
Yep.
going to fight him over naps. I know I'm going to fight him at bedtime. Yeah. Like sometimes I'm going to have to fight him when I'm changing his diaper. And I just like, just with food, I just give in. So I'm
Yeah.
wondering, like, I know that you are by and large, the caregiver as opposed to the homemaker. But what do what is Libby? What do you guys do with Madison? What do when she like cries out for whatever candy or whatever the case may be? Are you standing strong? Are you giving her fruit instead? What do you guys got going on?
Yeah, we give her options. Like the other night, this kind of good. This happened recently. Not it was. I think it was no, it was 2 nights ago. She asked. It was her bedtime is 10 o'clock usually at the latest. We anywhere from 9 to 10. If she says, "Hey, I want to go to bed," okay, well, let's go to bed. So it was like 9:30 ish, give or take, and she asked for a cupcake. We have those. We have their little with a little bit of frosting on top. They come like from this grocery store or whatever. So I was like, all right, you can have one, but after that, it's too close to bedtime. I shouldn't give you this one anyway. But you know what? You've been you've been pretty
Yeah,
good for me
yeah,
since I've been home, so
yeah. I know
I'll
how
give
that
you one.
goes. You've been really
So
sweet, so I will
yeah,
give you. I'm gonna give you a muffin or whatever.
yeah. So I give her one, and she comes up to me with her empty plate and says, "Can I have another one, please?" And I'm like, "No, I told you you can only have one." And she starts throwing a fit, and my wife's outside with me at the time, and she goes, "No, your daddy said no, so no. The answer is no. You can't have one." So, I offered her like I try to in that case I try to give her something healthier. Like she loves just Cheerios, random. Like you give her a bowl of Cheerios without any milk, and she'll eat them like a snack. So I said, "How about some Cheerios?" No, no Cheerios, cupcake. I was like, "How about a muffin?" Which it's not much better, but it's a little bit better. It's got fruit in it,
Yeah, no
but
frosting.
yeah, no frosting. It's no muffin cupcake. I was like, "Well, how about pineapple?" No pineapple. I said, "Well, you're not getting another cupcake. I don't care." So, and she kind of hemmed and hawed, and then she asked for, I think, some cheese or something like that. And I said, "That's fine. It's just not a cupcake. That's what all I care about. As long as you eat something not sugar filled, you can have it." Like, and then we got to get ready for bed. But that was that was recently. But normally, she's still in that picky phase where we have to be careful about what we fix for supper for her, because she, like, the other day we got a rotisserie chicken, and I made some of them. uh you put potatoes in tin foil and put them on the grill, and you make them that way with a bunch of butter and whatever. And I did that, and she and I gave her some pineapple, and she didn't even want it. I didn't even get out of the kitchen with it, and she's like, no, throw it in the trash. And I'm like,
she said
yeah,
that.
seriously. She goes, no, throw it in the trash. And I'm like, no, I'm going to put it back in the fridge, because if you ask later for something to eat, this is what you're getting to eat. And she never did, but it sat there. And the next day I saw it in the fridge. So I, tossed it. But yeah, so she's still real picky about what she wants to eat. And, but yeah, we try to do, like you said, the fruit thing. We keep, we keep bananas, strawberries, blackberries, pineapple, you know, a lot of that in her. She still likes the applesauce pouches, so we give her those when, in substitution of, hey, if you want something sweet but it's too late, or you don't want what we're cooking, we're still going to get you something that's good for you. And one another thing we do is we do toddler formula in the morning. We call it like a shake, like a milkshake, because it is a little thicker than milk, and that kind of gets her to, oh, it's a shake, oh, it's something different. She likes it anyway, but it gives it more, I don't know, more appealing to her, I guess. And but yeah, we do that, and that gives her all the, not all, but a lot of the nutrients that she, where we don't. It's not that we don't feed her, because we ask her all the time, hey, what do you want to eat? And it's mostly sugar, or sugar based stuff. But we try to do fruit, which has natural sugars in it, and which is better. But yeah, that's what we try to do. Like I said, she's still super picky, so it's hard to cook anything for her.
Yeah, I totally feel that. The picky part,
Yeah,
they're picky,
yeah,
but then they start to be stubborn too. It's like, okay, you're not going to eat it now, but like and I'm asking this, like, right now, even, like, you're not going to eat it now, but like, can I get you to eat it later, or
yeah,
are you just gonna starve yourself? Like, will you just not eat?
yeah,
And that question is usually enough to be like, okay, God, just fucking, what do you want?
yeah.
So yeah, it's
I mean,
rough for me.
there's times where like you said, that's probably the part that you give in to him the most. That's the same with us. Like, my wife tells me all the time, pick your battles. Just, but I was like, but yeah, but it's 9 o'clock at night. She can't be having three or four cupcakes or a lollipop, or something like that before bed. Like, no.
Yeah.
Not to mention it's not good for her teeth either. But and
And
but yeah,
especially Jack's already brushed his teeth by that
yeah,
time, so if he wants a snack, like, he's going to bed with that on his teeth.
yeah. We try
So
to wait till it's that's like the last thing we do before we go to bed is brush your teeth and then brush your hair.
that's actually probably the best way
Because
to do it.
yeah, because she's always like, we'll be getting her, like, we'll be taking her changing her clothes to put her pajamas on. She'll be like, I want an apple, or I want this, and I'm like, damn it, and she'll scream, and that's when we just like, all right, fine, here, just to keep her to not scream at 10 o'clock at night or whatever. But and then, so
Yeah.
with the they say, but then we tell her, hey, when we're done with this, you better be done, because we're brushing your teeth and you're going to bed. And usually she's not, and then that's another argument. But anyway.
Except for, like, with bed, usually that will work with me. If it's just me and him, usually I can be like, "Okay, I'm going to give in and give you this whatever,
Yeah,
but that's it."
yeah,
Like, you're not getting it again after that. And that's not to say that he will remember that. Sometimes he will finish and then come back and say, more whatever. But once I remind him, no, I said one, and you had one, like, that seems to click with him a lot of the time.
yeah.
But I'm trying to get past that first time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I started making him breakfast, eggs and oatmeal and stuff more often than not. Lunch has always been, fairly easy because it's always like a peanut butter sandwich or fruit or, something, yogurt. He really likes, if I put if I put granola in the yogurt, he will eat
Hey,
yogurt out of like out of the jar or whatever, whatever
hey,
container it came in.
that's it.
So
That's good for him.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, but I'm always on the lookout for what other parents are doing. And you say that you kind of give her the toddler smoothie. and that is, I'm not. Who knows what the ingredients are? I haven't looked at the ingredients, but I was looking on YouTube for meal ideas, and smoothies came up again and again.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that whatever is in that smoothie, it's
Oh, it's no,
it
it's formula. So it doesn't
well
have real taste to it. It's just kind of like milk almost or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what formula tastes like, but
well it,
uh
from what I remember, it don't taste good. I don't
no.
like. I
It
remember
don't
wondering
smell
how
good.
he. Yeah, I was like, how are you even drinking this?
Yeah.
But I was gonna say that whatever's in that formula is probably as good or about as good as whatever you're gonna put in a homemade smoothie. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it may have I don't think it would have more sugar because, like we said, those things are nasty.
Yeah.
Um, so you may have hit like a I wouldn't call it like a hack, but like almost like a cheat code, really, because like smoothies are advised, but you are avoiding that all that extra work of cutting the fruit
Yeah.
and blending it and all that by just
I mean,
giving her that.
I'm sure you could use it like as a base in a smoothie if you wanted to, and put like that and some. It's just you have to mix it like infant formula. It's like you have to do 4 scoops to eight ounces of water. So as long as you have the 4 scoops and the 8 ounces of water, I'm sure you could add blueberries or straw whatever to it, and maybe a little milk or yogurt, and make. We could probably make her a smoothie with it, and she'll get. I know you can get if you intake too much, or you just you when you go to the bathroom, you just get rid of it. Your body
Yeah.
absorbs what it needs, and then waste. It's the rest is waste. But that's something we could try too. I mean, but like I said, she only gets it in the morning, like when she wakes up, and then it's either juice, which we've stopped mixing it more. We've stopped diluting it so much with water. It's more like a third water to 2/3 juice now, which I don't know. I mean, I guess because of the sugar in it. I don't know, but
Yeah, I know that's what you're supposed to do. In order to
yeah.
avoid that extra work, I just don't give my son juice.
Well, yeah.
I
She asks for it a lot, so
he gets
she's
water.
on a juice kick. So
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure if he got used to it, he'd want it all the time.
yeah,
We do water. We do. Like I'll give him milk. Of 2 or 3. I won't say 3 times a day, but I'll give him milk. 2 times a day, and he really likes chocolate milk, obviously.
yeah.
But we started getting Ovaltine, that nastiness that we used to have as kids.
Hmm.
And so I don't feel as bad about giving him chocolate milk anymore because it's got all kinds of vitamins and all that stuff in it.
Yeah.
And it's actually like not terrible if you add only a little bit. Like if you're just like seasoning your milk with
Yeah. Right.
Ovaltine, like
Yeah.
it's kind of good. But
Yeah.
if you put the appropriate dosage or whatever you want to call it in your milk, then it's not good at all. It's not good
No,
at all. So I'm
that's
glad
like
that.
not to get off topic, but we had some. We bought some Vita coffee or something like that, and it reminds me like it was packed with iron and whatever, all this other stuff, and you tasted it, and it was like I was like, oh yeah, cool, like because I don't. I mean, I know I don't eat healthy, but and I
Yeah,
could
but
probably
I can drink
use
healthy.
some. Yeah, I was like, hey, I drink coffee every day. I could do this and it take care of itself. And I took one sip of that cup with, you know, I I'm a cream and sugar guy, not a lot, just a little bit, but I put a little bit in and I took a sip and I was like, no, nope, sink. Nope, nope. I'm gonna make real coffee.
I
So
used to
yeah,
think that
ugh,
real men had their coffee black, so that's how I had my coffee. And
it's
now,
I just can't do it.
no, yeah, no, I can't do it anymore. What I do now is I take the creamer in one hand and the coffee in the other, and then I basically just like pour them at the same time. And then I'm like, okay, that's enough creamer, and then I just pour the coffee to the top or whatever.
Yeah.
It's never. I like my coffee like I like my men, which is mostly white because who wants a big penis up their rear? So that's
Touche.
about yeah, touche. That's about all I have about food. I'm glad to know that I'm not too far off of a good. Well, I guess what do you guys do? And maybe you're not really a part of this, but you might know what's a typical lunch for her.
Uh like pretty much kind of like you, peanut butter jelly, peanut butter sandwich. If we ever we keep lunch meat a lot, some not a lot, but sometimes we'll like rip a few pieces up, put it on a plate, and then give her uh some fruit and something else on it, or sometimes we get the I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's already been cooked. You just have to heat up in the microwave. It's chicken, and it's like fajita seasoned or whatever, and it comes in like strips and chunks. And we give her, she loves that. Like sometimes I'll make my own like homemade quesadilla or whatever with that, and I'll cut up some extra and give it to her, and she'll eat it. So just kind of stuff like just a light little, I don't know, lunch, or like, if we have like so we have, sometimes we'll have pepperoni in there and she likes that, so I'll cut her up some and stick it like I would like the chicken or the sandwich meat, and just so she's getting some protein. And always fruit. She has fruit with every meal because that's what she'll eat. So you know when you find something that they like, you almost have to stick with it.
Yeah, especially if it's something good for them.
Yeah, especially fruit, because hey, you can have. I say it all the time. You can have all the fruit you want. I don't care. Like, it's good for you. It'll make you pretty regular. So
He just the other day he was like, I want carrot. I love carrot. I love carrot. So we got him some baby carrots.
yep.
We'll see if he loves carrots as much as he says.
We tried that, and she, I think, ate a half of one, and that was it. But
Didn't love carrots anymore.
it's the first time too. So yeah, we'll see.
I think you're supposed to try, like, I don't want to put numbers to it. You're supposed to try 3 or 4 times, something like that. So apparently, if they still hate it after that, then they really do hate it.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we spent a lot of time talking about my crazy neighbor, such that we are already kind of after the halfway point. So we're going to go ahead and kick it right into our next topic here. We like to talk about dad stuff. This is a dad podcast. We don't want it all to be about our kids and how to raise our kids, because we don't know. We don't know. It's the guests that tell us how to raise the kids.
Yeah.
We bring them on so that you guys get some experts at this sort of thing.
Yeah.
We're learning, so we try to talk about other dad stuff. And one of those
dad's got to have fun too.
Yeah, dad's got to have fun. And it's good that you say that, because that allows me to segue easily into something that is fun for me, is watching pro wrestling.
Yeah, buddy.
And it's been fun for, God, oh man. It's one of those things where you're like, you don't really remember not ever doing it.
Yeah.
So, I've watched it for so long, and I've seen. Go on.
I've been in and out of it, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, we will definitely get to that. I've seen, shows that came out maybe not before I was born, but almost certainly before I knew what wrestling was, and yet when those come on, I'm like, oh, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yep. So I don't know how I watched those things. Like, how did I watch WrestleMania 1? Like, I don't understand how, when I watched it, and because it came out, God, 1983. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
85.
Early 80s,
somewhere in there. Yeah. Early to mid 80s.
So we've been at this for a while, basically lifelong fans.
Yeah.
And it's as it will happen. Life has come along for our friend Dan and taken him away from what is currently on TV, and only left him time to escape into the past. When he has a few minutes here one night, a few minutes there, he will watch something from the early 2000s. And that is an amazing time to be a wrestling fan. Anything from the late 90s to the mid 2000s, that wonderful, wonderful time to be a wrestling fan.
Yeah, buddy.
And that is basically where Dan lives right now, except for here lately, I've been able to infect him with the AEW venom. And he is now, maybe not a fan, but he has now started following wrestling again. And it seemed like a perfect thing to talk about, because we try to, or at least I do, when these things pop up in our lives, I try not to get too deeply into them, so we'll have something to talk about on the podcast. And so I just want to know, what do you think of AEW? Is it living up to your expectations, and is it all I said that it would be?
Well, so far it's I'm only 2 shows in. I watched Dynamite and Rampage this week, because I guess I should call him by his AEW name. Adam Copeland jumped, formerly known as Edge. But yeah, he jumped ship, and I basically grew up with him in my, always on TV until he got hurt and retired, and came back and got hurt and retired again, and all that good stuff. and thought he would never come back, and he's back. Which he came back to WWE for a little bit beforehand, but now he's made he hasn't wrestled yet. That is, I think, Tuesday on Title Tuesday this next week. But he will wrestle his first match in AEW pretty soon, and they've had names jump, but it's names that, it's when I wasn't really paying attention to WWE too awful. Like, I wasn't watching it every week, or even, here and there, I wasn't watching it at all. So they weren't names that really grabbed me. Like, I mean, I know Cody Rhodes is a pretty big name, but that really didn't.
Yeah. Who gives a shit about Cody Rhodes?
Yeah. And he's gone back and forth. Like if somebody like Roman Reigns jumped, then I'd be like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
That'd be a big deal.
Yeah. I'd have to watch that, but not for, no offense to Cody, but Cody Rhodes didn't do it for me. When formerly Dean Ambrose jumped, that didn't really do anything for me. Daniel Bryan formerly jumped, when he would jumped, I'm just like, yeah, I know these guys, but they're not, they didn't do it for me. So,
now there's someone that does it for you.
Yeah. Well, the whole Edge and Christian thing.
Oh man, intriguing. And I'm glad they're making that a storyline.
Yeah.
That's
and then
so great
with the Hardys they're still there. So it's nostalgia for me, and it's something easy to grab onto, I guess. But hopefully I'm not in it just for Adam / Edge or whatever. I'm like Corey said, I've gone back I started at the Royal Rumble of 2000, and I am now at Vengeance of 2001, going into the next pay-per-view would be Royal Rumble 2002. So I've gone to almost 2 years in the old school stuff, because that's when I grew up, and that's, when you always think wrestling is the best when you're like 10. That's the time frame. Even when you get older, like, yeah, that's when it was great, when I was 10. So, I'm watching all the old school stuff, and it's just as good as it ever was.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that age range, it is pretty close to, because I grew up watching Hulk Hogan and Macho Man and all that, and that is always going to hold a special place in my heart. I know when I first got the WWE Network, I was watching, who knows what it was, maybe the first Survivor Series or something, and I was like, my God, dude, like that's Hulk Hogan, and that's Ultimate Warrior, and obviously that's not Survivor Series I'm talking about, but like all these guys are in the same ring at the same time. Like this is amazing to me now looking back. But at the same time, I'm also very into the wrestling that was popular in my teen and early 20 years, because in my teens we had ECW, the original ECW, and we had like the NWO and D-Generation X. And then, you keep going and you've got Y2J and Chris Benoit and the Invasion and the Invasion. I said the Invasion. And Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock, like these guys,
Triple
H. Are like, Triple H, hey, all respect to Triple H. He apparently, I can't say good or bad about him, because he's one of those guys that you hear that he was a huge douche, and then the next person was like, oh no, Triple H is my godfather or whatever. So he's a very complicated man, we'll say that.
Yeah.
But all respect to him, he was there, and he won his fair share of titles. So I do have we'll say a broad range of my wrestling love, as far in terms of years. I do like my Hulk Hogan versus Randy Savage at WrestleMania 5. But I also really like those 4-ways in the early 2000s with Y2J and Beep and Redacted, and I'm coming up. I keep wanting to say Perry Saturn and Raven, and I know that they were there at the time, but I can't think of many 4-ways with those guys in them. So, anyways, that time frame, I do really like all of that, and it is strange, I guess, having said all that you are now interested in AEW, because it is definitely a much more modern form of wrestling. you have like you saw the match and I saw it too with the four luchadors last night. Like
Oh
that
my
shit was,
God.
yeah, Commander's fucking
That was
crazy.
crazy, dude. That
So,
when he tight ropes that shit and then
yeah, like it
springboard
ran the entire
corkscrew.
like
Yeah.
length of, yeah, dude. Out like Undertaker,
Damn.
like who's the Undertaker, bro?
Yeah, he takes 2 steps and
Yeah, he
we're
takes
all
two
like,
steps and
whoa.
you're holding him up there the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like this motherfucker sprints across the top rope and then does
And
a,
then jumps to the other one and then jumps off that. I'm like,
yeah, and
dude,
it's not even just like a jump and then a jump and a splash. It's a
no.
jump and then a jump and a graceful, like beautiful backflip,
Yeah.
moonsault. So yeah, the guys these days, it's like a video game. But at the same time, it's also just like those early lucha matches on Nitro and things like that. So you saw a couple matches.
Yeah.
What stood out to you? Like what do you think interests you the most? Obviously, Adam Copeland and what's going on with Christian,
Yeah.
because that's just amazing. When
Oh
he's like
yeah.
like Edge, like, oh my god, dude, I know this is fake, but Edge is like saying all that stuff about let's get together, we'll take
Pouring
on,
his heart out.
yeah, like let's Edge and Christian versus the Hardys, Edge and Christian versus the Young Bucks, FTR,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm down.
I'm down. I'm down. Let's do it. Let's do it. It'll be complicated, but let's do it. And then that motherfucker's like, go fuck yourself, and then walks
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
So that was beautiful. That was so great. But
Beautiful.
I mean, I'm not surprised though, because Christian is one of the best in the business.
Oh
Those
yeah.
videos I was sending you about
Oh
talking
my
about the
God.
dad stuff. Oh man. And later on,
Savage.
yeah, dude, I didn't mention this, but later on he was talking to Darby Allin now at this point, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
he was talking to Darby Allin before their match at Wrestle Dream. It's already, obviously already happened, but he was
Yeah.
talking to him in a promo and talking about who was gonna be at the show. And he was talking about like I need to get Nick Wayne's mom's digits, and he's like, speaking of who's going to be at the show, what about your uncle? And he's like, oh yeah, that's right, he died in a drunk driving accident, he's not going to be there. And it
That's the
was,
one you sent me.
oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Because
it's
I
been
was
so
like,
long.
damn.
I was like, that's so fucked up, bro. So yeah, like he's just at the top of his game right now. But okay, so like I said, other than that, which is just superb,
Oh yeah.
what else caught your attention?
Well, I will say when you said modern, it's a modern form of it. It's a modern form, but with an attitude era flair to it.
Yeah, yeah.
I get that. I mean, I don't know if it's because that's the time frame. Well, I'm now into the invasion time and beyond now. It's kind of post attitude era, I guess. But maybe that's where because I'm still watching that stuff and it's still fresh in the mind. But like some of the like Christian doing the "Go fuck yourself" promo and some of these other promos that I've heard and watched, and I'm like, dude, that's like straight out of 2001. Like, damn,
Yeah.
And so that's because it's just like I said, that the Edge thing or the Adam Copeland and Christian thing is all nostalgia with the Hardys and stuff, and that's nostalgia to me. But I'm just interested in seeing the young talent that's coming up because I know they're way more athletic than what I would consider the greatest era to me. In the Attitude Era, I mean, you had all the big guys, but like big guys are all doing what the Undertaker used to do, jumping over the ropes and doing all that stuff now. From what it seems like, which is crazy. It seems like all sports, the big guys are super athletic compared. Obviously people
Yeah, it makes me
adapt
feel
and
even worse, like being a little guy.
yeah,
Like, how am I
but
supposed to compete with that?
yeah, but like that's one aspect. I'm just the athleticism and you know um the nostalgia from it. It feels like old school WWF, like from the late '90s, early 2000s. So and plus I've always been a wrestling fan ever since I can remember. My dad, there's our connection. It's a past thing. Past my dad passed it on to me because he was a big wrestling fan, still is. But so I remember growing up with him watching it. I mean, hell, you came to our house one day and we all watched
Yeah.
WrestleMania that time. And so yeah, it's just something I can't remember not watching wrestling as a kid. Like there was always a time where I was watching. We bought all the pay-per-views, watched. We would flip between Raw and Nitro all the time, and And then when SmackDown came to be a thing, we would watch SmackDown. And didn't what was it, Thursday Thunder?
Yeah,
Was that
that
the
was a thing for a little while. Yeah,
for WCW?
I think SmackDown started out on Thursday against Thunder,
Yeah,
um, but Thunder like quickly went away
yeah,
because it was terrible.
yeah. But
Um,
but yeah, so that's intriguing to me too. And there's 3 shows, which is kind of cool. Uh, I know they're Tony Khan owns, like you told me last night, he owns both Ring of Honor and AEW. So that's probably why they have 3 shows, so they can get, like you said, Ring of Honor some cable pub and
I didn't think about that,
more.
but yeah, that's probably one reason why.
But yeah, that's cool. That it gives you more. It's more out there, and it's more in your face, kind of like you see it more often. So it's like a constant reminder. Oh yeah, hey, this comes on tonight or tomorrow or whatever. So
Yeah,
that's kind of cool. But yeah, I just want to get back into it. I just want to see the new generations that are coming on.
there are a lot of younger guys out there that make me feel older and older. We watched, like you said, perfect example, Edge. He's not that much older than we are,
Mm-mm.
but I mean, I don't know what would you probably 9 years somewhere in that time frame from I'd say he's in his late 40s or early 50s for sure. But
Yeah.
I'm in my 40s, so that's not too far away. And you're not too much younger than me. So
No.
yeah, it's strange to see Edge, who's been out there forever, you know, finally like talking about retirement. And then at the same time, you've got this guy like, yeah, I go back to him again, Darby Allen, I've just been introduced to like, 4 years ago. And I watched him go from this new guy. I don't want to call him a nobody, but just, person I've never heard of and don't care about. And now he's like a big part of that company. And he's basically, I'm not going to say that he could be the world champion anytime, but at any time you could run a story and have him in the main event against MJF.
Yeah.
And, I'm going to be pretty obviously expecting MJF to come ahead in that. But still, yeah, like that, they could do that at any point because he has
Yeah.
built him like AEW's really like they had a lot of crap given to him for this, maybe even now, but I think unjustifiably if it's still going on as far as building people up. And I think they've definitely done that now with, not everybody, sometimes you like injury and stuff like that, you just can't catch any momentum. But MJF is a megastar now, Darby Allen. There's this kid that you haven't seen yet named Semi Guevara. And, he's a huge,
Heard of him.
yeah, he's a huge star with AEW now. Not a huge star worldwide, but a huge star with AEW. And I'm trying to think about it.
Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega, yeah, all of a sudden he's like this big deal. I know he was big in Japan, but your average wrestling fan in America does not pay attention to Japan. I mean,
Nope.
all respect, but they just don't care about Japan. And now, all of a sudden he's huge. Like you said, John Moxley he has come over to AEW and been multiple time world champ,
Yeah.
whereas he never got that opportunity in the WWE.
Yeah.
And it's totally believable when you put the belt on John Moxley. He is almost certainly going to beat Phoenix for the belt on Tuesday. He wasn't
Probably.
he wasn't supposed to lose it. He had he got a concussion in the match,
Ooh.
and Phoenix hit his these things you get like wrestling, like when you're talking wrestling rumors and wrestling news, like 5 different reporters are going to have 5 different stories.
Yeah.
But theoretically, ring the I don't know, put on the reckless speculation sounder. But theoretically, he got a concussion like somewhere during the match and told the ref and Phoenix that we have to change the finish. So Phoenix went and did his finishing move, and John Moxley did not kick out.
Hmm.
But the ref, I guess, didn't get full communication. And so the ref pretended that John Moxley lifted his shoulder up when he very clearly did not. So John Moxley apparently at that point said, just fucking do it again. And so Phoenix picked him back up and hit the same move again. And that time the ref counted the 3. And so John Moxley obviously was supposed to win that match. They were never supposed to do the finishing move. They only did it because he had a concussion and was like, I'm fucked up. You got to finish this. But I guess the referee is, I haven't the greatest memory, but to my knowledge, the ref, who Rick something, has not refereed a match since then. Really tall, old looking white dude, bald. I don't recall him being on Dynamite or whatchamacallit, Rampage. He may be on Collision tonight. I don't know. I'll find out. It's I can watch it as it goes on, but I prefer to wait till it's over so that I can watch it all at once without any commercials.
Yeah.
Because I pirate things. I pirate them illegally. That's what I do. So our 35 fans are gonna laugh at that. I'm surprised though. Like, speaking of 35 fans, I went on there to Spotify and I was like, holy shit, we got 35 followers. Like, what
Damn.
the fuck, bro?
Hell yeah.
Like, oh my God, 35 listeners.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's just the ones that, like, bothered to follow. We've got other people that are, just like, oh yeah, I'll just listen to them and never ever bother to follow or rate. Like, I'll just
come on, guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna get mine, but not give any back. Really, guys, all we ask: rate,
Just
review, follow, share. It takes seconds. Follow us on social medias, because I like some of those reels get like pretty good views, and if we had enough followers, we would make money off of those. Because you get, I don't know, it wouldn't be much more than like $10 or something, because we don't got them in the millions. But hey, that would be $5 a piece.
Yeah.
So I mean, whatever. And the only thing stopping us from that is because we get those views, but we don't have the followers to open the access to the money.
Yeah.
So I would get nothing from $10 other than validation. And my God, do I crave validation? It's really just what I desire most. People are like, oh, what do you do the podcast for? And I'm like, I want to help people. I want to help dads. When inside, I'm like, I want validation. And I don't even know what form I want it to be. I don't know if I want them to be like, oh man, your podcast is awesome. Or, oh man, you taught me so much about being a dad. Like, I have no idea what form I want it to come in. I just need it. I need it so bad. Like, it makes me alive inside. And if I don't have it for too long, I start to wilt away like a flower. So yeah, folks, give me that validation. Give me that validation. I need it so bad. So yeah, I am content with that deep dive into AEW.
Another thing real quick is I'm also interested in a competitor of WWE. That's actually legitimate, that's actually worth its salt or whatever. And I think that's kind of cool. Finally, there's somebody again that has challenging, even though they like Adam said in one of his interviews about, hey, it's not about the letters, it's about the art, which I kind of agree with. But when one company, in my opinion, is doing better and more stuff to draw new people in like me, and the other one's just pumping out the same old crap that I don't like, I'm gonna gravitate towards the one that's doing new, different things, but with a touch of old nostalgia, basically. I mean, for me,
that's a perfect way of describing AEW. I mean, even the name Dynamite, they picked Dynamite because of Nitro.
Yeah.
It's he wanted something that basically called back to that directly.
Yeah.
And they have the new styles of wrestling. They have all kinds of different styles, but they have they're I'm not going to give them an A+ on this. They don't have very many strong long-term clicks, like the like DX and New Generation, New World Order. They were strong for a long period of time. They were, when it was just Shawn and Triple H, that was barely DX. Toward the end, when there was 50 NWO members, that wasn't good.
No.
But for they both had very good long stretches, and AEW doesn't really have something I can immediately call to for that. Chris Jericho's been in a couple, and MJF has been in a couple, but for the most part, they just kind of fall apart. And they always mention, like, oh, it fell apart because of Jericho, or it fell apart because MJF's a prick or whatever. It's never like necessarily like one guy turned on another in the ring and then they had a feud. It's just like, he had a big head and we couldn't work with him no more. And but it's cool that they do that, I guess, as opposed to like just not mentioning it at all after they break up. But I would like for them to do more, have a strong click, a strong unit that kind of runs things for a while. Something that like, unites AEW against them. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
That's just the NWO fan of me maybe speaking out, but I would really dig that because they don't have anything like that. Another thing, I would like for them to do it with the women. To this day, I cannot think of one female like, you know, four horseman type unit. Like they just don't do it with women. I
Yeah.
don't know why.
No.
The WWE right now has this group, and maybe they're not even together anymore because one of them's always injured. They're called Damage Control. It's Bailey and Io Sky and Dakota Sky, or Dakota Kai and Io Sky. Yeah, try saying that again and again.
Yeah.
But it's just three of them, and like I said, they're never strong for long. One of them's always injured, and even when they are together, there's only three of them, and I don't think three constitutes, a group. Three
No.
constitutes a trio.
Yeah.
So
4 or 5 for a group.
yeah, I need at least four since you got the
Yeah.
four horsemen.
Yeah.
So that like there's one group that they're currently kind of pushing, the Bullet Club Gold. Did you
Yep.
see them?
Yeah.
Okay, man. The two.
I think MJF came out and started messing with him on Dynamite this week.
And I don't know what you thought about that, and I'm not trying to get into it because we're trying to transition away from this. But a fan called MJF out and said, "That was not your best work. You can do better than that." And he actually said, "You're right. I did not do that good. I could go on about how my segments are usually the highest rated and blah 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 blah. But for whatever reason, I didn't bring it this week, and I'm going to do better next week. So tune in and find out."
I was like, when he started doing that, I was like, oh, like, damn.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear that. Because
I thought that was one of the, like, when I said he gets Attitude Era promo feel, like that was what I was talking about. Like he came out and just like shredded him.
Yeah, dude.
And I'm like, dude.
He's quasi good guy right now. But when he was a straight bad guy, like there was a period of time where people were like, "Is MJF going too far?" Because he was just straight like calling people like just the meanest things, like like being mean to fans and all kinds of stuff. So he's awesome. But yeah, enough of that. We are down here toward the end, and we did have another segment, but that would take us God knows how long. So I am going to be grateful for this hour, and we're going to thank everybody for coming and kick it into their favorite segments. So go ahead and give them what they came for. Give them their drug.
All right, hold on.
I know they didn't come here for me.
Speaking of wrestling.
Speaking of the dad joke champion, everybody.
That's right.
Dastardly Dan.
That's right. With my all original dad joke, discount dad joke.
Discount dad jokes. He's coming here with another one. And hey, he takes on all comers, man.
That's right.
I mean, I'm telling you, if you think you got what it takes, come on the show. And if you beat him in whatever form or fashion we, deem that to be, then he'll mail you that belt. Yeah. He'll mail it to you.
Yeah.
But good luck. Good luck. And you're about to find out why. So go ahead.
All right. How do you unlock bananas?
Oh, good. I've never heard this one before.
Me neither. I wrote it. That's why.
That's why, because they're original.
Yeah.
Even though you give them at a discount.
That's right.
I don't know.
How do you unlock bananas? With monkeys.
Oh.
Monkeys.
Monkeys.
Yeah.
You unlock bananas with monkeys.
That's right.
That's so cute.
That is cute.
That's that is on the level of what I needed that personally in my life, because like I said, when we started, the anxiety was through the roof. I get this adrenaline pumping, and it takes forever for that shit to go down. But something wholesome and just innocent and just basically cuteness overload. I really that was a good one.
Yeah.
And like I said, if you think you got something to stand up to that, you're more than welcome to come on.
Oh, that was just something I farted out. I
Yeah,
could do better, but
the motherfucker wrote that on the shitter.
that's
Okay,
right. I was
so
gonna say that actually, but
so
hey,
if you got something that's better than that, hey, come. But he's gonna come too. They're
yeah.
just all over each other.
I mean, they don't hand these out to
Yeah,
just anybody. You got to earn this shit.
yeah. You don't just get that shit at the store. Okay.
No, no, God, it's not like I went to Walmart and bought this or anything. Like,
Yeah, that was given to him by I don't know, a rated, accepted organization that runs
yeah,
this thing. Like, there's a higher group like the WBO, the WBC, like they run the dad joke industry.
that's right.
They are the ones that determine who the champ is, and they didn't pick Dan for no reason.
Nope,
So, I mean, like he always says, if you got it, bring it,
bring it.
don't sing it, bring it.
Nope, bring it.
So, like I said, we're on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and Facebook, and man, you can't miss us. If you type in your two dads on Google, we come up, us and some
Hey,
canceled show. So if you've got no excuses. If you don't come with it and you're bragging, what you're really doing is avoiding Dan.
that's right.
So I don't want to hear it.
Hey, they don't want the smoke anyway.
Yeah, they don't want the smoke.
No,
They just want to talk.
that's right. And I will say, if you do type us in on YouTube, we are the first one to pop up. I've had multiple people do it. So
right on then. See, like we got real lucky with that name. It's
yeah,
easy to remember.
yeah.
And we immediately jumped to the top, even though like we ain't nothing special yet. So
Nah.
we're starting to get listens on iTunes too. So
Ooh,
that's cool. And no reviews yet, of course.
uh,
Of course. Why would
I
we
mean,
have reviews?
that's because we're
But
perfect.
yeah, that's what, yeah. It's
We
like
wake up in the morning and we piss excellence.
yeah, we we do. I was trying to think of something we would shit out, but I mean, when you piss excellence, what else do you need to do?
Yeah.
I shit gold maybe. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and call it a day there. We have had some fun here. We hope you did too. We had to go without Sam. We're gonna be going without Sam. Every other week that we go, he will be missing because Sam's a working man and his schedule changes. So we have to adapt to that. We're gonna try to get some interviews even when he's not here. Some non-veterans to go along with, to allow those other veterans to continue with him in that series because it just seems weird to cut him out of those. That would just be like hurtful.
Yeah.
So we are going to give all kinds of extra content instead with extra cool guests that may or may not be veterans. So look for that and look for us in all the places that you look for things because we'll be there.
Yeah.
Even when you're not looking for us, we'll be there. Yeah. Waiting, watching you.
Mhm.
So I guess with that, we're going to say this is your two dads. I'm Corey, and I'll check you later.
I'm Dan. Check you later.
All right. And that's the end of the podcast. YouTube fans, we appreciate you if you even release this on YouTube. I've not really been super diligent about releasing long videos on YouTube because nobody really watches them. There's going to come a time when someone's like, why aren't you posting more videos to YouTube? And I'll be like, oh, duh. But for now, if there's there's still a couple of those guests that are coming out weekly that didn't necessarily give us the explicit okay to post the video. So I am, not. But coming up, there's going to be more people that do allow it, and we will post them then. So there's nothing really special for you YouTube guys. I just wanted to keep talking and give you something for, YouTube. So Dan, do you have anything?
No, just thanks for listening. Keep following, rating, reviewing, whatever. Subscribe, whatever it is.
Or start doing that, one of the other.
Or start doing it, and damn it, we want some reviews, man. Tell us what we're doing wrong. Tell us what we're doing good.
Yeah, because I don't know. Obviously, the show will go on until we get bored with it, but I would like to know whether or not we could change something. Even if we were like, "Fuck that, I'm not changing that." It'd be nice to know, oh well, that person didn't like it. I've gotten a little bit of feedback here and there, but it's all been about the social media stuff. The reels, the length of the reels, or things like that. But never really anything about the the actual shows themselves. If we've okay, so we've posted 39 episodes, this will be 40. We've had, what would you say? I mean, maybe you haven't seen them all, but like 4 or 5 comments
Yeah,
on
not
the
many.
actual episodes themselves.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We're just gonna, I guess, keep on keeping on, and we do it all perfectly, and we're wonderful, awesome people, and there's no reason to complain because we don't do anything wrong, and there's no reason to rate because we know we're doing it all right. And why would you need to rate? Because
Yeah.
we don't need that, but we do need that. I
Yeah, we
need that.
do.
I
Yeah.
need that bad. I need that in my life. I need that in my heart, in my chest, because it's empty. I need that validation to fill me up like a balloon. So give it to me, please. But other than that, like I said, I got nothing else.
Nope.
I know it's coming up on your little one's bedtime. I think my little one is probably already gone to bed. Usually does in the 8 to 9 o'clock hour. So I'm probably not going to see him again. But at least until tomorrow. God, I made that sound morbid for a second. So, anyways, thanks for showing up again. And I guess we will see. I don't think anything is hard and fast planned for next week yet. So maybe I get somebody. Maybe it's just 3 of us.
All right.
Whatever. All right.
Sweet.
You take it easy, and I will talk to you again later.
All right, man.
Adios. Adios,
See ya.
YouTube.
Bye, YouTube. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you for nothing.